Hi there, my name's Jenna and I'm a Polestar mentor and work in the education department. Today we're going to do an intermediate to advanced level flow that you can add into your reformer class, working with some mobility to start and then moving into some strength. I've got beautiful Claudia with me here today and we are working on Pilates equipped reformers. So our spring setup is yellow, blue and green. We're going to start on a high blue spring and we've moved the foot bar to the third hole on your frame. Shall we?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we're going to start seated for me with your legs out nice and straight. So when you sit yourselves down, you want to bring your knees roughly in between the shoulder blocks. Hands are out nice and long. And I want you to find your sitting bones sitting up really nice and tall, drawing your shoulder blades back and down. We prepare with an inhale breath, and then on the exhale breath, we start to scoop through the lower abdominals, allowing the body to slide underneath the bar, allowing the tips of your shoulder blades to rest on the carriage, and if it's available to you, taking your head, neck and shoulders into extension. And then on the exhale breath, we start to nod the chin towards the chest and we slowly allow the shoulders to slide forward as we round through your upper back. We stack up really nice and tall. We're just going to do two more like that, thinking about that articulation through the spine as you roll back. And then when you allow the tips of the shoulder blades to touch the edge of the carriage, you want to wrap your shoulders away from the ears and open up through the chest. And then we slowly allow the carriage to draw into park as we roll ourselves all the way up. We're just going to do one more like this for your warm-up, going as slow or as fast as you feel necessary and taking your spine into as much extension as feels comfortable for you today. The next time you roll yourself all the way up to the top, we're going to start to add some rotation through the thoracic spine and rib cage. Can you bring your left hand just a little bit closer towards the center of the foot bar and your right arm comes behind your head? We'll start in rotation. So allow the left shoulder blade to draw forward as you open your chest. Let's breathe in there. And then as you exhale, it's a narrow row through the left elbow as you reach your right elbow over the foot bar for one. We're just going to go for 4 like that. Inhaling to open the chest and then exhaling as you bend that left elbow and we try to wrap the right elbow forward. Flowing the breath with the movement. So we inhale to find some length through the spine and then we try to maintain that length as we exhale and rotate. We'll go one more here just so we can get the spine moving in all different directions before we start to come into our strength work. And then the next time we unravel, let's bring that right hand onto the bar. We're going to change sides. So left hand comes behind your head. Let's find that rotation first. And as you do that, can you lift your rib cage off your pelvis, lengthen the spine? As you exhale, you bend into that right arm and we rotate for 1. Let's go for 3 more like that. So 4 in total on both sides. Really taking the time at the end of your rotation to see if you can find park and allow the stillness of the carriage to bring you into that little bit more rotation. You've got 2 more there. Let's go for one last one. Next time we come back through the center, we're going to bring both hands onto the bar. Let's take your arms wide, pull your chest close to the bar, and then I want you to bend your knees and place your feet on the headrest. Now we're going to bring ourselves down. If you have hair like mine, which is out, just be cautious of the springs in your hair. So option to bring your hair up into a ponytail. We're going to roll ourselves back and allow the thigh bones to constantly rest onto the foot bar. Let's interlace your hands behind your head so you're supporting your neck, and then we indulge in that sensation of the thoracic spine moving into extension. Let's collect your elbows into your side eyes. We're going to curl ourselves up into a chest lift. Let's go for 3 like this. And if it starts to become too strong, this is the variation that we regress back to. You've got 2 more here. Exhale as you curl up. On the next one, when you curl up, we're going to add our legs into tabletop. So we curl up first, and then as you bend your right leg, can you draw yourself under the carriage a little bit more, under that foot bar? Then as we levitate the other leg, I'd like you to hold yourself there, squeeze your knees together. Can you curl up that little bit higher? You've got another 3 there. Inhale to go over the back. Nice big exhale to curl up for 1. Last 2. Option to bring your feet down if it's getting too strong. Every time you curl up, maybe you can curl yourself into a tighter ball. Let's have a little break after this one. How are we going? You okay? Yeah, one foot comes down, the other leg joins it, and then we bring our hands on. Just have a little break.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so you can stay with one more set like that, or option to add some rotation. Option as well to drop the spring down. So we're currently on a high blue. You can just take it down that little bit more because we're going to start to work into a single leg.
Good.
We good? All right, let's go again. So we're going to bring your legs to tabletop, and then let's take the hands behind the head. Nice big inhale as you go over the back. As you exhale, curl up. Now we stay lifted. You're going to lengthen your right leg long. Keep the left leg bent. Can you rotate to that side? Then we come back through the center. Nice big exhale as you lift and rotate. Can you do 2 more on each side? I would love to talk through this series, but I'm actually really struggling right now. So I'm going to focus on my breath as we do 1 more from side to side. Lift and rotate. I come back through the center. My hands come on, my feet come down. Whew. All right, let's roll ourselves up. So for this next set, guys, we're going to add on a bit of spring and just purely work through some upper body work. So at the moment, I'm on the low blue. Muscles over here is on the high blue. So let's add on a green. And then just make sure you've got that sticky mat underneath you, guys. We don't want to be sliding around too much. If you do one pull and feel your body sliding around, we take the blue off, yeah? Or you can drop the blue down. Nice wide grip for me. Now we're working through length through the spine. We stack up nice and tall. Nice big exhale. Pull yourself towards the bar. And then we inhale to release. We're going to keep this short and sweet. We exhale to pull yourselves up. And then we inhale to release. As Claudia keeps working through this, guys, if you've got your shoulder blocks in, you can push your legs into the shoulder blocks just to help stabilize your pelvis so we don't feel like we're rocking around too much. We'll go 1 more there. Little break for me in disguise. And then we just release halfway, hold it there. Now can you lift your ribcage off your pelvis? And we just go into little tiny movements forwards and backwards for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We'll straighten the arms on one, dive your chest forward, have a little break there. From there, guys, underhand grip. So we're going to grab underneath the bar. Let's lengthen out through the spine once more. Draw your shoulder blades back and down, and then we exhale, come into more of a bicep curl. 1. And then we slowly release. Exhale, draw your elbows nice and close to your ribs. And then we'll find, now that we are focusing on a little bit of upper body work or arm work, we might find that we start to slump down into the spine. So really try to think about working the tummy to keep the crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Let's release halfway on the next one. So we pull all the way up, we release halfway, and then we go into our pulses. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, final 6, 5, 4, how are those forearms going? 3, last 2, last 1, big pull up, big release. Well done. Fold forward, have a little break there, guys. So just going to round into your upper back, breathe into that posterior chain, into the back of your rib cage, and then you can release your hands down and we'll roll ourselves up. After all that abdominal work, we're going to find a little bit of length through the abdominals and start to fire up into that posterior chain. So I'll get you to reach back and just add a low yellow. We want the spring to be quite light for this, and everyone's going to drop their bar down either 1 or 2 levels. The lower you go, the more challenging it's going to be. So that I can actually teach you this, I'm going to stay on the middle level, but if you'd like to challenge, go to the low. You're going to shuffle your bottoms forward for me. Your feet can just come to the floor. We're going to lie ourselves down and we're going to come into some bridging with your heels on the bar. So come and lie yourself down. Just make sure, guys, as a safety precaution, that when you're down, you want the base of your skull actually resting down on the carriage. We don't want to have your neck in too much extension. Arms are down to start. We're just going to bring our legs into a nice parallel position. Just go into a few little tucks and arches of your lower back, thinking like we're starting our bridge, just like we started our roll down. When you're ready to rock and roll, as you exhale and tuck the pelvis under, we slowly bridge the spine to come all the way to the top. When we get to the top, let's take a nice, big, long, lengthening breath in. And then as we roll down, we think we roll from the back of the ribs, from the middle back, the lower back, we release the tailbone at the bottom. A few little options, guys, if you'd like to reach your arms to the ceiling just as we warm up through the back of the body. You can take this option just to reduce your base of support. You might find that when we come into our hamstring variation, you might need to bring your hands back down onto the carriage. Let's go one more here, because we have done some articulation through the spine to warm up already. Next time you come to the top, let's hold that position. Arms are up or down. We stand into your left heel, we bring the right leg to tabletop. No movement through the pelvis. And then as you exhale, you place that foot down. Let's alternate from side to side. Using that breath to help stabilize the pelvis. So the exhale breath will create that little bit more stability through the torso. We'll do one more here, and then we'll bring that right leg to tabletop. We'll hold it there. Next time the right leg lifts to tabletop, we're going to unfold from the back of the leg. Now flex your foot and see if you can lift up that little bit higher option to bring your hands down here. We lower the leg down with the heel, and then we point the toe and kick it up for 1. You've got 4 more there. So as you lower down, we want to avoid the temptation of the pelvis rotating. I'm going to squeeze into your left bottom to try to keep that pelvis lifted. Last 2. Last 1. Can you lift the leg and hold it there? Claudia, we flex our foot, we lower the pelvis down halfway, and then a squeeze to lift up. Inhale to lower, and then we allow that pelvis to levitate up through the activation of your left glute. Last 2. Let's go one last one. We'll find the top position, bend the leg, bring both feet down, re-level the pelvis for me. Let's roll down, have a break. We'll do that all on the other side now, okay? Yeah. Roll that spine back up for me. So think pubic bone to navel, and then as we roll up, we want to feel like each and every little vertebra peels away. Other leg comes to tabletop. We unfold the leg. Now flex your toes and use that to really try stamp your foot up onto the ceiling. We lower down with the heel. We point the toe, kick up for 1. Inhale to lower. Exhale to kick up for 2. 2 more there before we finish with your 5 stamps. Next time that foot reaches to the ceiling, we hold. Now flex the toes again. And then we go for 5. For 4, they can be big or small, whatever you can control, your pelvis nice and stable. Last 2. Last 1, foot comes down. We find that level pelvis once more, and then we'll slowly come all the way down. We have 1 more layer. All right, so that was working a little bit more into the glutes, so we're going to work fire up into the hamstrings. Hands are going to stay down on the carriage, and you have the option of wrapping your hands around the edge of the carriage if you would like that support. Let's roll on up. So we find our top bridge position, hold the pelvis nice and lifted, we breathe, and then as you exhale, can you pull your heels towards your sitting bones for a little hamstring curl, and then we release. Not a lot of choreography to this, we're just going to do 6. If you guys are doing this at the same time as me, you'll feel it's quite strong for the hamstrings. So we want to keep the reps low. Last 1. And then I think we're both dying for a hamstring stretch after that. Let's lower ourselves all the way down, lengthening the legs out long. If you have a prop, a magic circle, you can grab that. We're just going to come into a little hamstring stretch. We can hold a magic circle around your toes. You can hold a TheraBand, or you can just use the hands on the back of the leg. Let that leg just arc down, and then we'll lift the other. Just do a few points and flexes. Think about that tailbone staying really nice and heavy on the carriage, so you get that stretch right up into the hamstring attachment. Last one here, and then come all the way down. All right, let's roll up and get into some leg work. You can do this to the carriage is going to step forward, and I want you to be in like a little first position through the feet, and then the other leg is going to jump behind you into the shoulder block. Yeah, we've taken our shoulder block into the front leg. We straighten the back, you lower yourselves down. Arms can reach forward, arms can dangle down by your side, and we slowly stand yourselves up. You've got 10 repetitions of this, really focusing on trying to get that back leg dead straight. So as you bend into that right leg, you want to find that length at the front of your hip and your hamstring. And then the right knee, the shin bone, is respecting that external rotation. So you want to make sure that's tracking over your second toe. I'm at 5, so Claudia, we're going to go for about 5 more. Can you try to find that bottom position? And then we still want to stay active through your upper back, so we're avoiding the temptation of folding forward. Let's go for 2 more. We're going to stay down on the next one. Scooters on the next one. We're going to lower ourselves down. We hold the bottom position. Arms can be out in front. They can be dangling to the side. Claudia and I are going to bend our elbows wide as we bend the back leg in, and then we exhale to reach the arms forward. So if you're in like a reformer class and you want to add a little bit more arm strength to this, you can have nice ankle hand weights in your hands, or if you've got those little wrist weights, you can add them on as well. We've got about 5 more like this. Inhaling to bend, exhale to straighten. Last 3. Listening for the change on 2. Next time you park the carriage on 1, I'd like you to hold it there. With no noise through the carriage, so no banging, can we step the foot up and find a nice wide squat position? And then we're going to stay at that bottom position and pulse the bottom range for 10, for 9, last 8, last 7. Now when we transition back to the reformer, the aim is to not stand up through that inside leg. Last 2, last 1, find that bottom position, hold. We transfer the weight into the leg that's closest to the reformer. We step the outside leg back and hold it there. Now push that carriage all the way out. Can you sink a little bit lower through that front leg? Arms reach forward. We pulse the front leg for 10. How's that leg going for you, Claudia? Is the leg legging? Last 3, last 2. If you'd like to advance 1 more layer, we hold. Can you heel raise the front leg for a little bit of a balance challenge? You've got 5. Last 4, final 3, last 2. Heel comes down on 1, we stand ourselves up. I'm sweating profusely right now. Yes. Should we do the other side?
Yes.
All right, let's go around to the other side. So we start in that little Pilates V position. Think first position, and then your toes are in line with the front of the carriage. Outside leg steps behind you. We hold it there. We go into your full lunges. Let's slowly lengthen the arms forward, bend the knee, and then we come all the way out. Exhale as you push out. Now, as we're doing this, guys, if that organization of that front leg is too strong, so working in that external rotation is too much for the knee, feel free to bring yourselves into more parallel alignment through that front leg. And we just really want to focus on, as you go out, you're trying to wrap that outside hip to the floor or forward. So we're avoiding too much external rotation through the hips. Like all Pilates instructors, I have no idea what repetition I'm on. So let's go for about 2 more here. You want to get 8 to 10. We come all the way down. Now we hold that bottom position. We scooter the leg out and in for your 8 to 10. As you start to draw the carriage in, tendency is to not come all the way in. So I want you to really focus on almost feeling like the carriage is stopping all the way in at that stopper. Let's go for 3 more here. Final 2. All right, we bend the knee on 1, we hold it there. Now the weight stays forward in that left leg. We quietly step that right foot off nice and wide. We get really nice and low and we pulse at that bottom position. We're thinking about all our beautiful Pilates principles of keeping that alignment of the shin bone. We're thinking we're pulsing from the hips, so rather than letting the knees come forward, it's like you're sitting your bottom back in an imaginary chair for 3, for 2, for 1, we come to the left leg. Now we stay really low. That's the hard part, yeah? As you release the outside leg, we lengthen it back behind you. You push the carriage out. Now sink into your hip, not your knee. So I want you to drop down through the pelvis, hold it there, and then we pulse that bottom range. If you've got your hand weights here, you might find that your arms are just dangling forward. If you want to challenge your balance, you can also reach your arms forward. Last 3. Last 2, We find our bottom position, we hold. Claudia, last little bit, we just go into those heel raises. You've got 5. Last 4. Keep breathing, last 3. Final 2. Last 1, heel lowers, we come all the way up. Whew, well done, guys, awesome job. So nice little snippet of a little strength session that you can put into your reformer class. I hope you enjoyed and you got a little sweat up and a little heart race like us.